There are two types of motivation in this world. You have the push motivation and the pull motivation. And you can also call this different ways of creating in this world. And it's very important that you master both of them. So if we look at push motivation, this name already says that you need to push towards something. So you need to push through resistance. Maybe when you feel tired, you push through and you do the thing anyway. So this is where it becomes very forceful. It's a very aggressive way of creating. And what most people don't realize when it comes to push motivation is that it's coming from fear, anxiety, anger, and in most cases it's related to the past. When something in the past happened, something hurtful, you experienced pain, maybe you were bullied, maybe a traumatic event, in reaction to that pain, you're pushing towards a different future. So it's often in reaction to people, in reaction to the past, because you're going to prove people wrong. How often do you hear something like that from motivational speakers, from the masculinity type of content? You can see maybe any content creator, most of them, they're coming from a place of push. Look at Alex Hormozi, he's probably close to 100% pushing with his way of creating in this world. And I'm not saying that something is right or wrong. Like, you can see how much you can create from push motivation. Like, insane things can be created. And most people don't even know a different way of creating. They only know push, because this is where we all start. We all start with this push type of motivation. But the thing is, how do you feel about yourself? How do you feel about life? If this is you constantly need to push. It's tension, it's stressful, it's anger, it's anxiety driven. These type of things, it's that type of driver, that's not really fun in life. But this is, let's say, one way of creating. If we look at the other way of creating, the pull type of motivation, this is where you are pulled towards something. So this is where, instead of putting in so much effort, taking action becomes effortless. If you are leaning into the pull motivation. Like, and some people can't even imagine what it's like. It's impossible. Like, that action becomes effortless. You just want to do the thing. So this is where also people don't burn out when you are in pull motivation. This is where you can put in so much work without burning out, because it is also not about you. You want to do this thing. You don't want to spend your time in any different way. You're usually serving a mission that's way bigger than you. Where the push motivation, it is very ego driven, is all about you, and I need to prove people wrong, and I want this status or this success or this amount of followers or whatever it is. It's also very tangible, superficial stuff, usually, that people are creating. And so this is ego driven because it's all about you. Pull motivation is often not even about you. It's where you are the vehicle to serve a mission that's bigger than you. This is where the pull motivation shows up. And so I quickly highlighted both, but if you look at both type of motivations, if you could choose one, which one would you, if you could only choose one to create from in this world, which one would you choose? Would you choose the push motivation or the pull motivation? And probably close to 100% of people would say, if I had the opportunity to create dominantly from pull motivation, I would choose the pull. Because why not choosing for action that is effortless, where I just want to do the thing instead of only pushing? But the question is also, how do you cultivate this pull type of motivation? Because we are only learning this push, because most people, they start with push, but they never transition out of it. And this is where they only know the push. So this is what they're promoting to the world, as in, this is what you're supposed to be doing. If you want to create results, you need to push like a crazy person. So this is, like I referenced Alex Hormozi. Like, he's only creating from this type of energy. And that's why I love this interview with Tony Robbins, because that's where he got to realize there's a different way of creating, but he just doesn't know yet how to tap into it deeply. So we are being taught that push is the only way to go to create results. Because if you're operating from pull, most people think also this is, this spiritual woo-woo type of stuff. Like, this is not for me. Like, we need to push because it's ego-driven, it's pride. Like, look at me, how much I'm pushing. So that's why the ego is so involved in the push type of way. It's like showing other people like how hard you can push. But if we look at what, like I said, your experience of life, like, if I look at the way, how do I want to live life? What do I want to feel in life? I want to have fun. I want to feel alive. I want to feel vibrant. I want to experience meaning, deep meaning and connection with people. I don't want to feel this constant stress and anxiety and pressure to constantly be pushing. Now, the thing is, you need both. You need to master both. I met people that wanted to make the jump too fast to pull, that have read about the pull, that have learned about it, and now they think, oh shit, I want this type of creation, but they haven't mastered the push yet. I believe you need to master this first. Pushing. This is where people start in the past when, let's say, something bad happened, maybe at school something happened, and you're like, I'm going to prove them wrong. So now you're really pushing and creating because you don't want to experience that thing anymore. So now you're developing the skill of pushing. Now, people sometimes make the transition too fast to pull, where they haven't developed mastery in push yet. And that means that, well, yes, they are creating their pull towards something, but whenever they don't feel the pull, something is wrong. They start questioning. Like, oh, I'm not supposed to be feeling this. It needs to be effortless. It needs to be this. I need to feel the freedom, and now I feel tension. And now they get overwhelmed. Now they start overanalyzing. Now they start overthinking, and they become passive, and they lose the momentum of the pull. And now they get stuck and don't create anything. Because you need both. You can't live 24/7 in pull. Like, this is not realistic. You can't expect yourself to live in that area. And it's not that if you feel tension, that something is wrong. Like, there are moments, and this is seasons of life, where you need to push. There are moments where you just need to push more than pull. But you want to have those two in harmony with each other. You don't want to be dominantly in push, because you will destroy yourself. And I'm also speaking from experience. Like, the amount of times that I've gotten injured, I've injured probably every single part of my body because I've been pushing so much. I've been in handstands with a broken wrist. Because, it's probably muscle soreness or anything, and I was just pushing through from anger, and I was 4 or 5 months just completely out of it, because of the pain was just, I just could not train, and I needed to recover. But this was because ego driven. It was the push type of stuff. So that's when with workouts, you destroy your body because you're pushing too hard. In business, you completely burn out because you lack that fulfillment piece. You don't feel complete. Like, what am I doing it for? This is what you start asking yourself if you're pushing for way too long. What am I doing it all for? So that's why you need to be in harmony. You don't want to be, let's apply the 80-20 rule. You don't want to be 80% pushing, 20% pull. You want 80% pull, 20% push. You want to push when necessary, but pull is the dominant way of creating. And the question, of course, is how do you cultivate this pull stuff, this pull motivation? And I believe, like I said, what is a mission that's bigger than you? So if you're having money goal, like I want to become a millionaire, like this is ego driven. So this is more push type of motivation. But what is a mission that's bigger than you when it's not about you? Like, what is so important, so dear to your heart? What would you do for free? What is the thing that you would do for free all of your life? If you were taken care of financially and you can choose to do anything you want, what really fulfills you? What lights you up? If I could be doing this to serve the world, to create an impact, like, what is that thing? And sometimes we need to dig into our past, because there are different things dear to my heart than to your heart. So for some people it's animals, for some people it's politics, for some people it's elderly people, for some people it's something physical. For me, it's, for example, loneliness. For some people it's nature. So what kind of topics? For some people it's depression. There are certain topics that are dear to your heart. Because when I talk to a guy, for example, and he talks to me about how lonely he feels, like, this is something that hits me like so deep at my core. And I know that this is a big driver for me in what I'm doing with my coaching. If I only look at, I want to make this much money and I want to have this impact with the coaching, and it's very, let's say, I want to have this amount of followers, then it's very ego driven. But if I look at the impact and the purpose that I have with what I'm doing, it is that piece. I want people to come back home to themselves. Like, this is what I'm doing with coaching. So when people come to me with beautiful external success, they're only pushing and they feel like shit from the inside. We usually cultivate also this pull type of motivation. I need to bring them back home to themselves. What do you want? Like, what is a mission that you want to serve? What is like really meaningful and purposeful to you? Because a lot of people are powerful creators, so they have mastered the push, but they haven't mastered the pull yet. Like, how do you create this deep fulfillment and this deep connection in life? But then you also need to let go of what used to be your driver. And this is the scary part when you want to make the transition between the two. Because people that often come from this push, when they are in this middle space, as in, I want to make the transition to the pull, this is so fascinating. I'm going to make a different video about this topic because this is so deep. Most people, they say, like, I can't let go of this. I can't let go of this anger because this is my driver. What if I let go of that driver, that pain, that hurt, that anger that is creating? What if I don't create anything anymore and I'm just like this plant, this vegetable that's just laying around doing nothing? Because, well, what is the purpose? Why would I do anything? Because if you let go of that driver, what other driver is there? And that transition is so scary. That's why people hold on with that dear life to anger, to all the pain, to trauma, because it is their driver and they don't know any driver. And the scary thing is, this is why they usually can't let go, is, what if I let go of this driver, this main driver? What will happen is you will be in this gray area where you don't know your drive yet. What is driving me? And to be in that space, in that gray area where you might be floating around because you haven't connected to your new, let's say, drive yet, like that's, most people are too scared to do this. So they rather want to be in this pain and this tension, creating from anger because they are able to create something, than to be in this negative space, let's call it, or that gray area for a moment where they don't know yet what the new driver is. Will there ever be a new driver? Like, and that's the main fear that comes up when I have these type of sessions with people. If I let go of this driver, or if I reduce this, what if there's no other driver? And now I let go of this one, so I won't create anything anymore in life. And then what happens? Like, I'm not doing anything. But this is the beautiful thing that I've at least experienced is, and what I also see with the clients, that once you let go of that driver, a new driver comes into the picture. And this is often the purpose one, the fulfillment one. It often involves love as well, like a certain desire to grow, a desire to serve, a desire to connect, a desire to impact. Like, this will take its place, but you need to create the space first for that new driver, that new motivator, let's call it like that, the pull motivation to take its place. But if all the space is filled up with the push type of motivation, then how can ever a pull driver or motivator come into that space? Because it's already full. You need to empty it first for something else to take its place. But the emptying part is scary because now there's nothing and it feels like nothing. And what if nothing comes? So all the questioning in the uncertainty often starts happening. And so this is how you also connect to a deeper purpose, by letting go of one side and letting a new driver come into the space. So one thing is serving a mission that's bigger than you. So what's dear to your heart, like I said, identity plays a big role as well. So who are you? Who do you want to be? Who do you want to become in this world? And this is where you always will act in alignment with your identity. So if I look at my workouts, for example, I don't have to think about my workouts. I'm just working out every single day or 6 times a week. So I can't imagine a different reality where I'm not doing this. Like, this is who I am. And these statements, this is who I am. When I travel, so next week I'm traveling, and I booked an extra bag for my workout clothes because I know I will be probably working out every single day, maybe in different gyms at the place that I travel to. Because this is who I am. Like, I will pay 60 or 120 euros more for an extra bag for all my workout clothes because, well, there's not even a consideration in my mind to not do it. Like, oh, do I want to spend this money? Of course. Like, this is who I am. So you will always act in alignment with your identity. So the first thing that I mentioned to go into pull is finding a mission that's bigger than you. Also, being able to let go of your driver is a big part, but also, who do you want to be? What is in alignment with the identity that you want to embody? Because if you need to push constantly with your current identity, then something is out of alignment. Because that's the forceful part, as in, a pull means it is in alignment. If you, let's say, stop smoking, something like that, and it's a push every single time to say no to the smoking, you know that you still embody the identity of a smoker. But if it's like automatic, like, oh no, I'm not a smoker, this is not who I am, then it's automatic. You're not worried about it, you're not overthinking it. This behavior is automatic because it's in alignment with your identity. So how are you cultivating that identity? How are you cultivating that being of who you want to become? What if you would embody being a world-class athlete? How would you treat your days and your nutrition and your workouts differently? If that's who you are being, if that's the mentality, this is who I am. So this is also the shifts where things become pull. These are the standards and the values that are lived by. So again, a different way to create pull is like, these are the standards. Like, it's obvious that I'm not going to allow anything below this. This is my standard. So these are, again, certain ways of creating pull. And this standard might be also a little bit more push depending on the place that you're doing it from. But I believe the biggest one is identity and the driver, like I mentioned, and also that mission that's bigger than you. If you are able to tap into those, then you will cultivate so much pull motivation and life becomes fun. I think this is the main reason why you want to be in this pull motivation. Because you feel vibrant, you feel alive, life becomes fun, you feel the inspiration, all of these things. And this is what you want to experience in life. Because with the push motivation, what are you doing it all for? Why would you push so much? What is the point? Do you want to be looking back at your life at the end of your life and think, oh man, I pushed so hard, I experienced so much anger and frustration. Oh yeah, I proved them all wrong. Like, oh, this is incredible. Like, this is not how you want to look back at your life. You want to look back at your life and think, man, look at the impact that I had. Look at the mission that I served. Look at the people that I contributed to their lives. Look at all the beautiful connections that I've created. Look at the fun that I had. This was so much fun, this journey. Like, this is the type of life that you want to live. So I'm a big believer in transitioning from the push to the pull. And that's why this perspective is also not that popular, because everybody is just screaming in your face how much you need to push. Yeah, because people have not developed the level of competency to be in this pull motivation. And I believe this is a necessary part to also, I know this sounds very big and cliche, but this is how we make the world a better place. Like, we need more people to operate from pull instead of all this push and pressure, and it's all about me and selfish and ego. And we need to be serving missions that are bigger than us. Like, how do we make the world a better place? By serving our ass off. It doesn't need to be like, I'm going to change the world. But if you are coming from a place of service, you will change the world and you will impact lives. And it doesn't have to be, like I said, the whole world, but communities, families. And this is what I want to see more of. So that's it for now.